I'm Jenna Middaugh. Coming up on 11 News at noon, more promising results for one of the COVID-19 vaccine candidates. How effective AstraZeneca's vaccine is said to be. Plus, millions of college students are planning to head home for the holidays. The precautions health experts recommend families take to keep everyone safe. And let's take a live look outside. It's a bright start to our work week, but meteorologist Lucy Bergman is talking about snow in our forecast. Join us at noon.
This is KKTV 11 News at noon.
Researchers around the world are celebrating as yet another drug maker says its COVID-19 vaccine is very effective. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Jenna Middaugh. New today, a third vaccine to prevent the coronavirus could be available as early as next month. This one is produced in the UK by Oxford University and drug maker AstraZeneca. CBS's Ian Lee reports from London. AstraZeneca says it is talking to the FDA, but it's possible the vaccine will be rolled out to the UK and other countries before it reaches us here in America. Vaccine experts here in Colorado say there is a lot of pressure on developers to fast-track the process of getting the COVID-19 vaccine approved. Doctors say normally it can take up to 15 years for vaccine research and approval. So to have several coronavirus vaccines that are more than 90% effective almost ready to go is unprecedented. But even when the vaccine starts getting distributed, experts say we can't let our guard down.
This is not a...
Colorado says it does have a plan to distribute the vaccine to healthcare workers and first responders first once one is approved. Time now for your No Wait weather with meteorologist Lucy Bergman. And Lucy, it was a great way to start the work week, but you're tracking some changes for tomorrow.
Sure am, Jenna.
We'll check in soon. Thank you, Lucy. Looking ahead now with Thanksgiving just 3 days away, Colorado's case numbers for COVID-19 continue to climb. State officials are asking people to reconsider holiday plans. Colorado is averaging around 5,000 coronavirus cases a day. Governor Polis says 1 in every 49 people in the state are contagious. Right now, nearly 1,700 Coloradans are in the hospital. 81% of ICU beds are being used. Happening now, college students are starting to head home for Thanksgiving break, but there are concerns as COVID-19 cases continue to spike across the country. Experts at UC Health say there are safe ways to celebrate the holiday with your kids this year. It might be hard, but you should have them quarantined and try to stay in different parts of the house. Also, really try to limit or just keep college kids away from high-risk people like grandparents. Health experts say getting tested for COVID-19 might seem like an easy option, but there are some challenges with that as well.
A test only tells you about one point in time.
UC Health also recommends having Thanksgiving dinner outside if at all possible. And since Thanksgiving is usually a holiday where you pass plates around, try not to share food or drinks. If you're planning to get tested before the holidays, here's a list of some of the testing sites in El Paso County. The sites in Fountain, Falcon, Monument, and Colorado Springs are all drive-through. These sites are free and you do not need insurance or a referral. For more information and to pre-register for any of these sites, go to our website, kktv.com, and click on Find It. But you should expect lines at those testing sites to be long. This video is from the Jefferson County Fairgrounds this weekend. That's west of Denver. Yesterday was the first day that site started testing people, but it did not stay open for long. It was supposed to be open until 4 yesterday afternoon, but had to close the gates at noon because of an overwhelming turnout. People who didn't make it in were told to come back at 6 this morning. Right now, if you have questions about the coronavirus and how it might impact your work or business, Colorado State Patrol has a new COVID-19 call center to help answer some of those questions. You can call 1-833-598-5553 Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. But remember, this new call center is not a 911 center and is not designed to help with emergencies. Happening today, the trial for the man accused of serving as a gang assassin in the 2017 slayings of 2 Colorado Springs teenagers is expected to resume. Marco Garcia Bravo is charged with being one of 2 gunmen who fatally shot 15-year-old Derek Rear and 16-year-old Natalie Cano Partida. Garcia Bravo's murder trial started in mid-September, but a possible coronavirus exposure led the judge overseeing the case to suspend the trial. Garcia Bravo faces life in prison without the possibility of parole if he's convicted. A man is fighting for his life in the hospital after police say he crashed into a car while riding a small motorcycle last night. Colorado Springs police say they were called out at 7:30 to the intersection of Shelton and Delta on the southeast side of Colorado Springs. Investigators say the man was not wearing a helmet and it was hard to see him because the bike was so low to the ground and did not have any kind of light or reflector. Police have not told us yet whether the driver who stayed on scene will face any charges. The road was blocked for a few hours, but it is now back open. More states are expected to certify their election results for President-elect Joe Biden. Coming up on 11 News at Noon, what some Republican leaders are telling President Trump as 2020 election results are closer to being finalized. Plus, a community remembers. 2 years after Woodland Park mother Kelsey Barrett was brutally beaten and killed, a memorial was held in her honor. Michigan and Pennsylvania could certify President-elect Joe Biden as the winner in those states as early as today, but President Trump still has no immediate plans to concede, even as President-elect Biden gets ready to announce the first members of his cabinet. Natalie Brandt has more details from the White House.
Well, President Trump golfed Sunday.
CBS News also confirms that Jake Sullivan is President-elect Biden's choice for National Security Advisor. Sullivan, a close aide of Biden's, was one of the small group of U.S. officials who secretly met with Iranian officials in 2013 to begin the diplomacy that developed into the Iran nuclear deal. Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Lucy Bergman now.
All right, Jenna.
We know you'll keep your eye on it. Thank you, Lucy. Right now, the Woodland Park community is remembering Kelsey Barrett. Yesterday marked 2 years since she disappeared from her Woodland Park townhome, leaving behind a young daughter. The Woodland Park community gathered together to hold a remembrance vigil to honor Barrett's life.
We were honored to have a season with Kelsey.
Patrick Frazee was convicted of killing Barrett on Thanksgiving Day 2 years ago. He's serving a life sentence in prison. Crystal Lee, Frazee's ex-girlfriend who played a role in the case, is serving a 3-year sentence. Happening today, some businesses in Barcelona were able to reopen following a 5-week lockdown to help slow the spread of the coronavirus. Bars, restaurants, gyms, and movie theaters opened their doors this morning. There is still a curfew in place there, though, from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. The Prime Minister of Spain says the country will start a comprehensive coronavirus vaccination program in January, and he hopes to have a large part of the population vaccinated within 6 months. T-Mobile is the first cell phone carrier to step up and support mental health. The company says its customers can now dial 988 for emergency mental health services. People would then be connected to the National Suicide Prevention Line. The FCC voted on that 3-digit number in July to make it easier to connect struggling Americans with help. Millions of people are expected to travel for the holidays this year, even in the middle of a pandemic. Coming up on 11 News at Noon, what health experts say you should consider before making the decision to see family this Thanksgiving. U.S. airports saw their busiest day yesterday since March 16th, despite warnings from health officials against traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday. There's concern travelers may unknowingly infect their loved ones with coronavirus. Chris Van Cleve reports from Reagan National Airport in Virginia.
From packed gates at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport.
Thousands of Americans have been lining up outside food banks recently. Researchers from Northwestern University estimate food insecurity in the U.S. doubled in the first few months after the coronavirus pandemic started. In Atlanta yesterday, people waited for hours after Tyler Perry announced he would give away Thanksgiving supplies and gift cards at his studio to the first 5,000 families that showed up. Traffic backed up for miles. The event started at 8 a.m. and the studio said it ran out of groceries by 10.
It's just crazy to see the turnout.
Feeding America projects more than 50 million Americans will have experienced food insecurity in 2020, up from around 35 million before the pandemic. We'll be right back. As the pandemic forces many families to downsize their Thanksgiving plans, one highly sought after item on the menu is running low. This year, there's a shortage of small turkeys. Some turkey farms say people normally ask for birds that weigh 18 to 20 pounds, but this year, people say that's too much.
They're live animals.
Some grocery store owners say they made a point to order more smaller frozen turkeys this year because people are planning to keep their Thanksgiving guest lists shorter. Looking ahead, the Salvation Army is helping put food on the table this Thanksgiving. Locations in Colorado Springs, Woodland Park, and Manitou Springs will be open from 11 to 2 Thursday, offering free Thanksgiving meals. The Salvation Army on Yuma Street in Colorado Springs and Woodland Park Church of the Nazarene will be offering meals 3 different ways: limited dine-in, pickup, and delivery. Manitou Springs Town Hall will just host pickup and delivery. Masks will be mandatory at these meals, and there will be no rides to or from the locations. For more information, call the number you see there, 719-636-3891. The 2021 St. Jude Dream Home is under construction. Covington Homes broke ground on the site Friday. This is the 6th year Covington Homes has built the Dream Home and the 8th year that it's been in Colorado Springs. Every year, people can buy a raffle ticket for $100 for the chance to win the home. All the money goes to support St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
It is more important than ever.
9,500 raffle tickets will be available, and we'll let you know once they go on sale. Have a good day.